Good morning. Now here we find ourselves at Burneside, and our leader's going to just explain what we're going to do on our walk today. Now can you give us a resume?
Well, we're starting here at Burneside,
Yes.
going up past the older hall,
Yes.
and basically picking up the Dales Way, and following that for nearly half the walk.
Right.
Along the way we'll pass it through Sprint Mill, one of the oldest mills
Yeah.
in Cumbria, before basically coming back down and on the return journey down to the River Mint.
Yes, the curiously named River Mint.
And just swinging back towards Burneside,
right.
to the field systems.
Yeah. Righty-ho. Well, we've got a greyish day to start with, but we're hoping that the sun comes out.
Yeah, come on.
And here we are in the car park after the introduction from Arthur, our leader. At the moment, what we do is we have a different leader each week now, which makes us very democratic. Or is it that we make them volunteer, sledgehammer them, Queen shilling into being the leader? Here we are starting to walk through Burneside, and is this a celebrated River Mint here? I think so. Why it's called the River Mint, I don't know. Whether people chuck their candle mint cakes in or not, I don't know. And we continue to walk through Burneside. As many of you will know, it's famous for Croppers, which is the paper mill which has been going a lot of years. There's also all sorts of things around here. Near the main road there's an obelisk, and apparently it's an obelisk in something to do with commemorating something that happened in the Napoleonic Wars. But there's all kinds of things around Burneside that make it interesting. Just showing you the footpath sign here, indicating that we are going to be walking part of the Dales Way. There's some rather strange stone brackets here. We're not quite sure what they are. As I said, Croppers did have a narrow gauge railway many years ago. Whether they're anything to do with those, I would not know. They look like some kind of a pipework, but are they cement? Looks like it. Just while we're pausing here, I've carefully crossed the road. Here we've got an example of a fortified manor house. As you can see, there's a castle like tagged onto the farm. There's one nearby Arnside, and I think people perhaps know there's one's up at Shap. And of course it was in the days of the Reivers when there was all this raiding going on, and therefore it was handy to have a fortified manor house. I'm seeing a situation here which I'll just zoom in on for you, which we often see. It's a lamb got on the wrong side of the fence. Obviously it's March here, lambing season. As you can see, the poor little chap or chapess has got on the wrong side of the fence. I'm not sure that there's anything that we can do for them. Sometimes if we can do something, open a gate or something, but I think we're kind of helpless here. As we're walking along here, we're coming to a delightful area. You'll hear the farm tractor in the background. A plethora of signs. More signs. Does it mean that you have lots of signs, you get a sort of attitude, you don't take any notice of them, you can become immune to the sound? Now, this is a real farmer's collection here of interesting objects. Goodness gracious me. There's a tractor we're now looking at. Just filming the really delightful entrance to this farmhouse. Now whether it's let out as a holiday let, I don't know, but it's rather nice. Complete the ensemble of interesting objects. We see another tractor here, and whether it goes or not, or whether it's just a piece of scrap iron or just some kind of static exhibit, I'll leave it up to you to decide. Just going through a gate here now, and as you can see there's some beehives there. Whether they're active or not I don't know, but there you are. I'll just film as we proceed, perhaps not say anything for a little while as we just go.
We're like that with you. No. Come round, lads. They all come running.
There you go. It is sort of anticipated that this walk is not going to be one of the most challenging physically, but there's a lot of interesting things around here that it's well worth repaying, walking some part of the walk if you can do it. Obviously here an allotment. No doubt it's probably nice to sit on the seat there and drink some beer in summer and watch your vegetables grow. Again, on the side of interesting, there's the view of the river. There's our official photographer Jeff just taking our stills of the, I think it's the River Mint again. And we're coming down here again, a delightful farm. I am corrected. Apparently there's two becks or rivers here, the Mint and the Sprint. Now which one this is, I think I'm being told it's the Sprint. And going back to the scene that we're looking at, it's this farm here again. Again, there's Jeff taking his pictures of the still pictures, and a local here. Again, interesting artifacts here. I won't describe them all, obviously that's a millstone, and really superb buildings, superb old buildings that haven't been altered. Even the delightful sort of rust on the iron guttering there adds character to the building, and certainly character in abundance. Right, we're just going now onto the bridge, and we always kind of choose the bridges for our group photograph. Just videoing this, as the photographer isn't on the photograph, someone else goes and takes the photograph so he can be on the photograph. So we're continuing now at the other side of the river and up towards the top of this little hill. Now once at the top of the hill, we're walking along the footpath now in the sort of limestone countryside round here, all sort of surrounded by fairly obviously limestone stone walls.
Right, they built houses in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And as we're coming down, again, you've probably seen on previously on the video the lambs that were trapped. It's obviously March here, lambing season, and you're going to see plenty of sheep and lambs as we go along. Coming along here, this time of year we see a lot of hedge cutting, and just for locational purposes, here's the sign. Now the pronunciation of the destination with the S I'll leave to you. Where we stood here, looking back, you can see Burneside, and to the left there, the white structure is Cropper's Mill, that is to say, the paper mill. Now you can see we're proceeding along. few shots of the countryside. It's basically quite nice countryside. There's no sun at the moment, but it's not raining, that'll do for us. And at least again, as you can no doubt see, the foliage isn't on the trees yet, which is quite good for places where there's perhaps a beck that we want to look down at the view, and you get a better view, especially if you're videoing or taking a picture, if there's no foliage on the trees. I'm dropping down here again. It would appear to feature of the walk, and I believe, as far as we're concerned, elements of this walk are a new walk, and it's quite clear there's lots of interesting farm buildings. So if you're kind of an amateur artist or a photographer, there's certainly a lot of scope for sketching, drawing, photography, as you can perhaps see here. And walking down here again, lots of lovely skeletons of trees without their foliage. Coming down to a main road, as you can see, cars whizzing past us. We're pausing here to regroup behind our leader for the day. Right, the group has stopped now for their first break. A cup of tea that cheers. Fortunately, there's I'll just step up here, a rather well placed seat with a rather nice view. As I remarked before on the video, that road is the A6. I didn't know, but I should have known. In a second I'll walk further down this little road here and show you the view, another view of Burneside and the Cropper Mill. Our doggy friend here is Finn, who's a member for the day.
I know Finn. Spring is a very active dog.
And I hear this noise that sounds...
So, to take up where I left off before, you can see the lichens on the wall here, on the limestone wall, going down to the farm there, which I'll just zoom a little. Again, a more modern farm, but not uninteresting. Again, would make a lovely, maybe charcoal sketch if you had that skill. And under the tree there, just under the tree branch, is the A6, which again, as I said before, would have been a major artery of the country before the M6 was built. Now, north of Kendal, there's not that much on it, which is probably a good thing. Now this dog here is more keen to get going than we are.
And now I remember my granddaughter talking about Mrs. Balls as being...
Breakover.
As being her teacher, yeah. That's a long time ago. Oh, 25 more.
Loins girded, ready to walk the next bit.
Yeah.
Proceeding again, the thing coming out about interesting buildings. Now, here we've got one.
Yeah, this is Tarn Bank, yeah. Tarn Bank.
Reliably told this is Tarn Banks. Complete with their arms over the door. Delightful. However, just to remind us that these houses need upkeep, there's the scaffolding. Probably quite expensive. Now, as we proceed down here, I'll dwell on the sign there. If only to help our esteemed video compiler Norman when he comes to look at the wobbly footage I present him with. Sorry, but I must do this one. We are wandering lonely as clouds. Now, we're at this building farm called Garnet Fold.
Yeah.
And we're trying to work out where we're going.
Meal.
It's either that way or through the guy's front room.
It's down here.
Now, here we are stepping over a stile towards a footpath. My goodness. If any of you have looked at our videos before, you probably know we're very, very wary over styles. This one is not too bad. It's always nice to find a nicely well maintained style as opposed to the rather dangerous examples we all too often find. Right, after having a bit of a discussion, we are on the right way, past this old tree. Here's the rest of the group, struggling to catch up, being put to shame by this dog, who apparently can run, jump and negotiate styles better, faster, quicker and more expeditiously than the rest of us. Some of our walks may be spectacular, but this group in front of us really epitomises why we do these walks. There's a certain element of enjoying the conversation, the company and certainly the scenery. Again, wasn't it?
He succeeded for 6 years.
Well,
Tories were doing what Labour's doing now. Labour would have been up in arms. Yeah, exactly. Taking on all the poorest. At the start, like the government, most of that.
I don't think they're going to end up. You know those things where somebody says you end up.
Yeah.
You try and please most of the people. Whatever they're doing, I don't even know environmentally. The things with the windmills and that woman who stood in front of the biomass train at Drax. It's quite right. It's not environmentally friendly to biomass. So what they're doing is they seem to be pleasing nobody, really, as far as I can tell. By-election's coming up, isn't there, for that bloke who's is it the Labour bloke who's constituent? Is it Cheltenham, is it? I can't remember, somewhere. Yeah. And obviously the former party is strong. It'd be interesting to see what the outcome of the voting figures are from that, given it's only a by-election.
Well, the other thing you've got coming up is the local elections. That would give you
well, there's a bit, yeah, but there's a bit of a problem there with some of them aren't going to happen because of this thing about speeding up the unity authority. But it's happening in Lancashire, isn't it? So here we are proceeding after the lunch stop, and as you maybe can work out that the sun has come out a bit. Oh no, it's gone back in again. A brief appearance as we continue. The dog's picked a stick up. As I said, the dog is more lively than the rest of us. We're just ascending this bank up towards this kissing gate here, which according to the sign is for sale. Pause for another directional discussion.
3 weeks. Because we started off there. It's a few weeks ago. We parked over here. It's down there.
If you could dress these men in Napoleonic uniforms, it would look like a confab for battle at Waterloo.
Right, good job, really.
We came down there.
Mind you, some of these chaps might be
I don't think you did.
a bit too rotund for Napoleonic costumes. Proceeding down this footpath, I'll call it a ginnel if you like, but that's a bit more of an urban word. Nice lot of firewood here. These appear to be ex-local authority houses, if you know what they were. We're filming here a house, and there's something up there which appears to be some kind of religious icon. Whether it's historical or whether they put it there themselves, I don't know.
Well,
these things happen.
yeah.
Another dog walker.
Thank you, brothers.
A really big place.
Looking at these factories at this side of Burneside, and our colleague here lives here, and we don't quite know what they are. They're not too bad. A bit unobtrusive as factories go, but and that's the sort of view, the reasons that we come out on these walks. Sorry if I'm wobbling the camera. Just approaching this property here. This well maintained and recently maintained plots, probably be ready to be planted with either vegetables or maybe flowers. It appears that this isn't the footpath. The lady there, who is presumably the landowner, has given us leave to go through her land, and we're not sure now whether or not. I've got a feeling we've been this way before, but I'm not absolutely certain. I think this led to various remarks about we might end up in someone's back garden having a cup of tea, so I think maybe we have been this way before. My walking colleague tells me we haven't been this way before. Millridge. Another sign that says Mill Lodge.
Hey, not really. I love that.
Yes, we're stopping now for our afternoon break. Quite handy because at either side of this track there's a bit of a dwarf wall we can all sit on. And here comes the
Come on, Bernie, we're having a break here.
the dog. So we're coming again now, back towards the A6 and roughly towards Burneside. I'm not quite sure what's left of the walk, but no doubt we'll find out in due course. Now we're walking down a road here which we're not finding too pleasant. We do occasionally have to walk on roads, of course, and it seems that there's a little bit of traffic going backwards and forwards. It being a narrow road, then the cars have to give way, and we sometimes find that we're in the place where they want to give way. Audrey's conversation with Lindsay. Suburban garden here. What looks to be probably ex-local authority houses, and we're now walking back into Burneside, really at the end of the walk towards our car park. So I think at this point I will say au revoir and close down our little film show for this week. Au revoir.